This is what I brought to the Goonhammer Open this last July. This is before the change of toughness from 12 to 11. The two lancers equipped with shock lance are my favorite. 14-inch movement and the 4+ invulnerable save make it a must-have. The 3 gallants are no joke either. A -1 to hit in combat and a 12-inch movement will help me keep pressure on my opponents. I'm using Reclaim the Realm as my oath, which will give everything +1 to movement, assault, and charge. It's a very melee pressure-focused list as the shooting firepower can swing wildly, but having everything hit on a 2+ in melee makes up for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get any practice games in before the tournament, so the first game was me just getting back into the rules. My opponent was playing Ultramarines. My plan was to take fixed objectives, starting with Storm Hostile objective and then choose the other secondary based on my opponent's list, usually moving between Bring It Down, Assassinate, or Cull the Horde. My opponent was very mobile and had some good draws when it came to his objectives. I was rusty and just focused on getting to his home objective. I rushed my White Lancer into his Primarch Guilliman, which made him pull his units into a better spot for Yellow to clear the hero and squad. I was worried his Warlord would get back up and retaliate, but he didn't make the roll and Yellow claimed the kill. It was a fun start to the tournament. The game ended in a loss, but that's part of the plan. I feel like a lot of the pressure goes away after the first loss, and I can get on with just having a good time and rolling some dice. Game 2 was against Thousand Suns. This was a quick game. My opponent got some bad luck on his secondaries and just didn't have the firepower to deal with my knights. With my knight's ability to move through the terrain, it's set up for a lot of charges my opponent wasn't prepared for. At least his ability to deal devastating wounds was slowly killing my knights. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't killing them fast enough and he was in a bad spot from turn 2. So the list performs like I had thought it would. Out of the 2 games, both opponents are struggling to leave their deployment zones, and both games ended 45 minutes early. Victory, but as you can see, a low score. It's here I doubt my decision to stick to fixed objectives. I was thankful that the 3rd game was against a friend of mine, who is also an Imperial Knight player. At this point in the day, the air conditioning being out was being felt to its fullest, not to mention it's already been about 7 hours of Warhammer, and the 3rd game is always the hardest. I managed to collapse his left flank, but anything I sent across the center to the right was getting wiped out. Overall, it was a great game to finish the first day of the tournament. We finished our game an hour and a half ahead of the time given, and I was able to leave early. This game was the deciding factor when deciding my secondary objectives. No more would I be using fixed objectives, and I'd try tactical for day 2. Day 2 started out with my knights up against Chaos Demons. This was the first army I've come up against so far that put some significant threat into Deep Strike. I was worried I would have to turn around at some point and dedicate someone to clean up my home objective. But I stick with my initial plan and went after his Defilers as fast as possible. I didn't have to wait long before he used his Deep Strike to set up on my Blue Knight. His plan worked, and he did manage to kill Blue, but I used my last stand strategy and killed his Demon Prince in return. Then both his Demon and my Knight exploded, killing everything except the one champion in the unit. While White was doing a great job of killing Defilers, I used Black to hold the center. Meanwhile, Red and Yellow were cleaning up the bottom of any units trying to hide. Turn 3, and White is trying to go for the hat trick, and multi-charges both the Defiler and the unit of demons. My opponent goes for his last big Deep Strike move and puts another Demon Prince near my Black Knight. Even if the Black Knight loses his fight, Yellow and Red are in a good position to reinforce both White and Black. White finally goes down to the demons, but he manages to clear the board of Defilers. And with that, there's not much my opponent can do. I have the important objectives, and he's down to 1 unit with 1 lone demon in it. That seals it for me. Tactical objectives for the rest of the day. I didn't get a lot of pictures for Game 2 as it was being streamed live on YouTube. I'll make sure to add the video link so you can see my knights in action. Overall, it was a good game, and my knights continued to put pressure on my opponent, locking them down in their deployment zone. Once again, the score shows that tactical objectives are the right option for my army. Game 3 of Day 2 started strong. I had good positioning, and I even got an unexpected turn 1 charge. Unfortunately, I made a number of bad decisions on targets. I was too focused on killing the Land Raider and other tanks. I should have gone after his hero character after I popped the Land Raider. Because of that, all the re-rolls his character added was having no problem killing a knight every turn. Another added issue was because I came out so strong, my opponent kept getting additional objectives, which in the end made a big difference in score. It was a good game and my opponent was very friendly, but something about this game just had me feeling disappointed. I had made a number of tactical errors, and losing to objectives that I didn't have access to didn't help. Still, a great day playing Warhammer and rolling dice. So after all things said and done, I ended up going 3 for 3 and placed 33 out of 66, perfectly average and exactly what I was aiming for.